Hello, it is me, Anime. We Anime, and I'm bringing you a uh, a new part to What If Deku Was Zora Ideale's reincarnation, right? And also, it's gonna be posted on a different day, just so I can keep my schedule ish intact ish. Uh, so if you didn't see the video I posted yesterday, uh, all I was saying that I wasn't posting that day because of it was Labor Day. That's the reason why I wasn't posting that day. So I'm posting today, okay? And it's going to be a little quicker than, or a little shorter, rather. Probably not a lot, but it will still be like a 20-30 minute video for y'all. And then tomorrow, Wednesday, I'll be recording, well, What If Deku Was a Power Ranger, part 6. So, the schedule that I usually post will be okay. So, without further ado, let's get it started. So, last time, final exams happened, right? And, well, the final exams. So, it's the summer break, right? I believe it is summer break, right? And they're gonna go to the training camp. I believe that's what it's called. Don't really remember that well what it is called. So they Midoriya would ride on top of the bus as he usually does when they all go on a bus. He doesn't want to deal with a bunch of kids, even though they're not much younger than he is. He's 24. They are all 16, 17-ish. 16, 15-ish, rather. So, they're not very much different in age. Also, background noise, I'm sorry. I'm walking to my recording station where I record. Uh, just thought I started early. I would start early to get it done so that I can play Black Clover Mobile, which that isn't the sponsor, and we don't have sponsor. But I'd love a sponsor, Black Clover Mobile. Absolutely would love one. Absolutely love the game. If you haven't checked it out already, I recommend it. I absolutely do. It's so fun. Uh, so yeah, they would get there. Well, not there, but they would. Class 1A would stop uh, for a an unknown reason. Even Midoriya doesn't know, but he would catch on very quickly on what Aizawa is doing, like very quickly. So they would all get out of bus. Aizawa would call Midoriya down. He would jump down, and Aizawa would say, "You got until 6, or whatever time he said for them to get to the uh, in the night place where they would be staying, right? Where they would be staying at, right? You all know what I mean. They got until a certain amount of time to make it there, and as I would say, I recommend starting now if you want to make it there on time. Which they would start booking it. Well, the wild pussycats would get there too. They would be there as well to assist with their uh, whatever you would like to call it. So they would be dropped. At, well, we all know what that means. They would be dropped. Midoriya would just jump off by himself. He would say, "I'm not dumb. I know what you all are trying to do. You're trying to drop us off of this mountain. Yeah, no, I've already dealt with that plenty of times before, and I'm not dealing with it again. So yeah, your entire plan can be shut down by me. I'll do it myself." So that's what he would do. He, like in a lot of my other what ifs, he wouldn't wait. He would just start sliding down the mountain, like if he was skateboarding or snowboarding down a mountain. So that's what he would do. I mean, it's play. It's pretty plain and simple. Really, on what he's doing. I don't really have to explain it much. So yeah, and the other students would get down however they would want to, either being dropped or at doing what Midoriya did, jumping down himself. So, and by the time the other students would be down there, Midoriya would be already jogging on the way through. Just the students would hear, "See ya." Well, "See ya." You all know what I mean in his voice, and they would all go and fight through the mud monsters. Midoriya would just dodge them all. I mean, he would put explosion traps on them, just like on a couple, like the huge ones. He'd put them on there just so that the others would have fun. He would also put some counter traps around, right? And it would take a while for them all to get through there. Uh, Cannon time was like, I don't know. I don't remember what the cannon time was. The cannon time was like 6 in the afternoon. And for Midoriya, he would get around there, uh, like 1, because he just plain out dodged them all. That's all he did. He dodged them all. He used his explosion traps to launch himself. And that's what he did. He got there faster than the others. And then it would take around 4 more hours for the rest of them. I'd say probably around cannon time for the rest of them. Right. And Midori would be there, laying down, have it head resting on one arm. You all know the pose. The you know what I mean. He'd just be there, laying down. He would say, everyone would be yelling at him like, "How did you get here so fast?" Blah blah blah, all about that. And then Midori would say, "Well, you always gotta expect the unexpected. Okay, that's my lesson to you all. So I'm out of here. I'm gonna go take a nap somewhere." And then Aizawa and Shino, I believe her real name is. I don't remember her hero name. the one with the telepath quirk, uh, she would say, "Isn't he a real pro hero? I swear I've seen him around before." And Aizawa would say, "He is. He's just a well, he actually didn't finish school, that UA, so that's why he's here now. So yeah, that's why he's here. He's a pretty good help around the class, getting them all to shut up and settle down, because he's, to be bluntly honest, I know I can get real scary, and they're scary when I get all, you know, um, he just threatens them, and he can pull out, they all know his capabilities. He has, he's something. He is certainly something. And then a couple days would go by, and it's certainly, date's gonna certainly be something. All right, it's certainly going to be something. And what I mean by that is, well, it it sounds, it is what it sounds like. Oh, it was a that's for a different what if. That's a trike shield, not a stego shield. Trike shield. It's about my Power Ranger what if. Uh, so yeah, they would all pair up, except for Midoriya. Midoriya would just walk out into the woods, just be there. He'd take a nap somewhere that day for a couple hours, probably two, and then he'd start to smell burning. Like he'd wake up like, man. He'd say, "What is going on?" Man, how annoying. No, how annoying. There we go. More like it. Uh, oh joy. Well, this isn't gonna be fun. And then you would hear a voice. This voice would say, "Well, well, well. I guess the rematch came a little sooner than you'd think, Midoriya." Well, Izuku, my best friend. I remember growing up with you. Man, it was fun. Till I, well, you know, faked my death and all that. I mean, I've told you the story. So, rematch, and Midoriya would say, "How many times do I have to tell you, Dobby, or Toya, that I don't go by their name anymore? Either of them. I've forgotten about those names years ago. Okay? Either call me Zora or Cool Mask Guy. Okay?" And then Dobby would say, "Well, stop calling me Toya then, Zora." And then Zora would say, "Well, that's more like it. Well, that's more like it. That's closer." Sorry, I heard something. I don't know if you all heard it either. It sounded like voices. Yeah, voices. Yeah, I'll just have to stay quieter. Sorry. Uh, sorry for going quiet. I think I'm hearing things. But, anyways, they would start. Dobby with his fire, Midori with his signature counter traps. We all know how this is gonna go. Dobby would dodge the whole entire two times thing back. He would uh turn it back at him. With the whole entire two power thing, the counter tap, the trap would launch it back, right? And then they would, well, Dobby would use his blue flames to kind of, well, to hold back the two times power ones, right? And while that's going on, Midoriya would set up a couple paralyzation traps. Well, he would pull out his marbles, the marbles that he throws, right? With paralyzation traps and explosion traps. You know the paralyzation traps the that also have explosive traps in the vines. Yeah, that's but he'd pull those out. He'd throw them around, just all around the battlefield, and which he would know where they were because he can see all of his traps. But Dobby wouldn't be able to, right? And then Dobby would run up close, start throwing hands with him, while the clone of Dobby is fighting Aizawa. See, Midori is fighting the real one, right? But Twice's remake of uh the whole entire remake, Twice's quirk and how he can make other clones and all that. I think that's his quirk at least. See, right now I'm gonna go over who's fighting who. Magnan is fighting Tiger and Chino, okay, and well Dobby and Zora, or Midoriya rather. Moonfish, Bakugo, Todoroki, that fight, plus Tokoyami's somewhere out there. Dark Shadow, that, now Muscular. See, Koda actually didn't run away because nobody bothered him. Everyone just stayed away from him. So he's actually back in the classroom, with all the other, like, people who failed the final exams, right? And Muscular would actually show up to the uh, room, the classroom, right? And he would say, "Well, look what we have here." Izal would be out there with uh, the teacher of class 1B. Vlad? Yeah, Vlad King. That's his name, Vlad. Right? And these guys would go at each other, which for Muscular, it is a very handicapped fight because of the whole entire, well, Eraserhead and his Erasure quirk. And, well, it's a 2v1. I mean, Muscular wouldn't go down without a fight. clearly. Everyone, well, all of them would get banged up pretty badly, right? But Izal and Vlad would win. Muscular would be taken down, right? Tied up and all that. And then Aizawa would say, Vlad, protect the kids, the students, and I'm gonna go look for anyone else. Tiger and Chino, well, Magnan would run away. Portal out of there after being defeated. Toga's out there, right? And, well, we can go back to Midoriya and Dabi going against each other now. Okay. It's same as it was. It's a lot of hands being thrown while also explosions are happening because of Midoriya. The Nomu that oh yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah, Nomu, the Nomu. Oh yeah, Spinner's already been caught. He got caught with Stain, right? So yeah, we don't gotta worry about him. So they would go. So the fight was still happening. Throwing hands, the Nomu's out there somewhere. But still throwing hands with each other. And eventually, around like 10 minutes would pass of this fight, a 10-minute, throwing hands, quirk usage, right? And Aizawa would end up there because of the explosions with Tiger and China. I don't remember her hero name. I remember her real name, but not a hero name. Don't remember that. And Dobby would say, well, okay, a party is. And then Dobby would fall because of one of the. Well, not the whole entire. He would step on a paralyzation. The one where the vines grow up on them and do all their things, right? And, well, and a lot of explosion trap marbles would be all around it. And Dobby would see this and he would say, Kirigiri, now. And, well, the portal would open and Midori would say, well, we know who's the winner now, don't we? And then boom. See that explosion and the traps. Well, the trap marbles, they all went boom inside the portal, uh, going wherever they were to meet up with the others. So, boom, everyone around there uh, would see an explosion, like where they all meet up. Well, where these guys would meet up, the students where Bakugo would be taken. That's and before he's even taken by Compress, they would all be there to witness the explosion. And before that trap, well, before the portal would fully close, Midoriya would throw in another marble. Now, this is a completely different trap that I'm revealing now. It's a tracking trap. It doesn't really do much. It's just, well, it's a tracking device. And Midoriya would say, Hey, well, hey, you all, you three, come on. I know where they're at. And he would just go running, and well, these three would start going. And Isol would say, "Hey, uh, you two, you should go check on the other two. Uh, the other two Wad Wad Pussycats, which they would go find them. They would go and they would say, "Oh yeah, we gotta do that," and they would go, right? And Isola and Midoriya would go find, well, the villains and the students fighting, which they would Midoriya would be able to intervene with the marble incident with Bakugo. He would be able to intercept it with a counter trap, right? And he would say, "Oh, hey, Compress, how's your day been going?" And Compress, even though behind the mask, you could tell he's worried about this. And all these other villains would recognize the red hair, the black get-up of Zora Ideale, the masked hero. I mean, technically that is his hero name. It is Zora Ideale, that is his hero name. Uh, but a lot of them just call him like, well, Zora, duh. Because none of them really know his real name, except for like a lot of heroes do. But they know he really cares about his hero name, and about keeping it hidden, his real name hidden from anyone, the students, his friends. He keeps it from a lot of people, but the Todoroki family knows it. Uh, Aizawa, all of these heroes that have seen him grow. Hawks knows it. Nagat knows it. A lot of people knows it, but they keep it a secret because they either care about Midoriya enough to do it, or they're just either they care about him a lot, or they just respect him enough. Even though they do know it, they respect him enough to know that I am not dumb. I'm keeping his name a secret so he doesn't come after me and torture me. I've seen what he can do. So, well, Dobby would uh be there just sitting there while everyone else is just worried about Midoriya being there. Midoriya has traumatized a lot of villains because of what on how he does things. If you can catch my drift with that. If you know, you know. But anyways, Compress would get out back over to the villain side, and Aizawa would go over to check on him, and Midoriya would run straight through and just run straight by everyone to get to these villains to do what does the best, grabbing out more marbles, throwing them right at him, and then Dobby would just say, "Screw it," and he would hold up both of his hands, and he would just burn them all. But that would also entail of the counter traps that would be in there, and the ones that survived the burning. The counter traps would launch all this fire back, and also they would also launch more marbles. Um, Being the paralyzation ones with all the bombs, all of the explosion trap marbles, the ETM, the ETM. That's what I'm gonna call them. The ETMs on them, right? And well, yeah, uh, they would all. Kurogiri would get all the flames, like no, and he'd just launch them. Dobby would say, "Do not launch those back to him. He will just do it again." So there'd be two people that would run straight at Midoriya, one being Toga and the other being Twice. Dobby would say, "Those idiots." And Midoriya, being who he is, only grabbing two marbles, one in each hand, throwing them straight at him, these being the EMTs. And, well, we all know what happens next. Boom, boom, boom. Well, yeah, explosions. But while this commotion's going on, Compress would sneak around, take Bakugo, take Tokoyami, and he would say, "Hey, Ideale, look what I got." Your two goody two shoe friends. I mean, and then Dobby would, well, I mean, not Dobby, Midori would say, "You do realize those two aren't my friends." Well, actually, yeah, no, not my friends. Yeah, I mean, uh, they're students, so can I have one of them back? And Compress would say, you pick which one you want back. Which one you want, left or right? And Midori would say, he would actually turn around, he'd go to Aizawa. Well, he would ask Aizawa, and he would say, "So, left or right?" And Aizawa would say, uh, "Left and right." And Compress would say, "Uh, that's not part of the game. You about got me there, but that isn't part of my game. Okay? That's not part of my game. You gotta say left or right." And Midori would pick left. Beep. In which that being Tokoyami. So either way, you were gonna have to do the rescue mission. Do 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 do. And Midori would sneakily pull out a tracking marble, the TTM, and once the portals would open up with Bakugo in hand, Midori would throw this as fast as he could into that portal before it shut, and then boom. I mean, given they would also have the no mood tracking thing, but this also just a random marble. Like, does anybody know what that is? And well, that's where I'm gonna end it. That's where I'm gonna end it, dudes and dudettes. Uh, Thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Well, Wednesday. Well, in the next one. Yeah, in the next one. Bye.